Hey there, Jed Coverness here from jedcoverness.com, and welcome to Talk Therapy. It's just a tool that I use to get to know myself and maybe inspire one person today, because one is greater than none. That's it, straight up, just like that. So how do you do it? You just talk. You hit record and you just talk. And don't worry about what you're gonna say. It's a great tool. Give it a shot. You feel great afterwards. So, made some Anchor recordings last night, or I was on Anchor, or probably hearing this from Anchor, but it was like just boom, boom, one right after another, pretty much. One was about change, and one was about the best exercise program known to man. And that's funny because anything we do takes practice. And I'm telling this to myself, like, this is why I do this, so I can confirm what I know. And I'm practicing right now to test for the Certified Exercise Physiologist exam, or certification through the American College of Sports Medicine. So the ACSM, right? ACSM EPC. And it's challenging, right? Like, it's kind of kicking my ass a little bit. Won't even lie. But it's building character, right? So yesterday was a crazy day, and I didn't know a lot of answers to some questions that people asked me, and it really frustrated me. That frustrated me. And this isn't a complaint, it's more or less just, okay. Before, I would have just bitched and complained about it and went on, this is just stupid, it's everybody else's fault. But really, it's not. I didn't know the answers because I haven't done enough work, right? My favorite t-shirt of all, wonder if you can, what do I gotta do? Work, right? Work, W-O-R-K. Work, my guy Gary V. It's my favorite t-shirt ever. You just gotta work. That's it. Like, that's how you get it. But I haven't done enough work to know the answers that were asked. Like, and that happens, right? It just takes practice. But it frustrates me when I don't know an answer. It just does. And then I go and try to find the answer, and I still can't find the answer. And not can't as in like, I can't and I give up. It wasn't coming. So what do? You just keep asking and keep asking another person. And then the information you have isn't exactly accurate, and that's okay, right? Like, it happens. And what I mean by all of this, and what's really, happening, is it wasn't a bad day. It was just, now I know the areas that I work on, that I need to work on, that I'm going to work on, that I am working on. How about that? Because if you say you're going to work on something, you're never going to do it. Oh yeah, I'm going to work on that. No. Saying you're going to work on something gives you the opportunity to not work on it. You're saying you're going to, but at the same time, it gives you the opportunity not to. Versus when you say and own it and say, I am working on it, there's a little more clout behind the words I am versus I am going to. So when you say I'm working on that, either you're lying or you're telling the truth. Like, that's it. So you're working on it. So I'm working on that. And just finding out answers, whether it's email, whether it's in person. And then I get this book, so go back to the ACSM EPC exam. I get this book, and it is challenging, but it's challenging me in a way that I need to be challenged, right? Like, conversion factors from centimeters to meters, from inches to centimeters, all these little things that, man, I used to know this stuff like that. And it's okay. Like, it's completely okay. Because if you've known something before, you can do it again. Like, I graduated college with a 3.1 GPA, which for me, man, that's freaking awesome. Like, I was a, C and D student in high school. First semester of college, I got a 1.9 GPA. Got diagnosed with ADHD my junior year, or just before my junior year. I went from like a 2.0, maybe a 1.9 to a 3.1 and averaged that the whole way through. So it also helped that I found what I really love to do is I really love to figure out how stuff works. Like, not just the body, not just the mind, but everything. I want to know how it works. You know what I mean? Like, how do you build a window? How does the machine work that's building the window? How does your body produce energy? How does your body take a protein that you're eating, eggs or lean meats, or, if you want to say dairy, a little bit of dairy has some protein in it, but it's dairy, it's not protein, right? Two separate things. But anyway, how does your body then take that and convert it to energy, right? How does it work? I'm just fascinated by how everything works. And as soon as I can relate that in my own head to something that I know, then I know it, right? Like the 3 planes of motion. Now we're getting a little in depth here, but the 3 planes of motion, I literally just understood that completely. Is it Monday of this week? Literally. 3 planes of motion and how we move through them, right? Sagittal is here, frontal is here, and transverse is here. And I never really, I understood, yeah, sure, frontal, like it separates the body between front and back, and sagittal separates the body between left and right, and it only makes sense, but when they talk about moving through the plane of motion, like what plane of motion are you actually moving through? It's funny because I never put it all together, like abduction and adduction. Adduction, you're bringing yourself through into the center, and it just is funny to me that which plane of motion are you running in when you're doing adduction? Well, let's think about it. Sagittal, right, is left and right, so that's more flexion and extension. Frontal is this way, right, so you're going front to back. So you're going rotation, and that's more transverse. And even saying that out loud, I don't have a lot of confidence in that. And that's okay, because this is the point. This is how I learn. I literally have to do and go through the motions. That's why I got the weight vest. That's why I have to feel what it feels like. Like, it just takes time and practice to know exactly what you're talking about. It's okay if you don't. Most people won't throw it out there and say, I don't know if I'm exactly confident in saying that. Because, oh no, don't show weakness. Don't do that. Man, screw that. Like, everybody's vulnerable. That's how it works. Everybody has vulnerabilities. In today's day and age, it's most important to keep those in check and be aware of what that feels like and what that knows and what you know. Like, I only talk about what I know. I don't talk about what I don't know, because I don't know about it. And then I'm just making up bullshit. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So the planes of motion is another thing I got to rethink about. Like, I understand it now. Now I get to really think about what that is. Flexion, extension makes sense in all planes of motion, but abduction and rotation. Rotation is probably, I'm going to say, is transverse, but then it also is abduction and adduction. It would be transverse. Because you're in this plane of motion. Like, transverse is this way. Yeah, it's transverse. Okay, good. Now I got that one figured out. Because you're moving through that plane of motion, like wherever you're moving. So if you're going through flexion, that's sagittal. Because this is the plane that you're going through. Flexion, extension. That's pretty interesting. And then like a side raise is frontal. It's a frontal plane movement because frontal is here, divides it in the front and back. And as soon as you get it, like, there's no way you can unget it. It's like a light bulb that just never stays off, never turns off again. That's amazing to me. It's very amazing. And with that information that you, basically knowing yourself and knowing how you learn. Like, I learn way better when I go through the experience. Like, if somebody was going to tell me that riding a bike is awesome and I should try it, but I need to read about it first. Well, that's just ridiculous to me. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to read about it. Alright, safety check. You got to make sure all the spokes are in line. You got to make sure your seat is at the right height, and you got to read about how to adjust the seat. Now, that makes no sense to me. Like, I got to get on the bike, learn how to ride it, like just fall over and crash, and then get back up and get back on the bike and see if I can ride it, right? Like, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Just understanding how you learn and being aware of that. How do you figure out how you learn? Do you read and comprehend? I sure as hell don't. I have to read a book like 17 times to understand what it just said to me. Do I watch videos and look it up on YouTube and have 50 different ways to learn one concept and find the one that makes most sense to me? Yep. Somebody has recorded something that makes sense. Somebody has documented something that I can learn from. The internet's a fascinating tool. We just are a little afraid of it still. Anybody who's, born before 1984, I would say, or 83, they're just a little afraid of the internet still. They didn't grow up with it. And that's okay. It just takes practice. It just takes this, getting out of your own way. Putting your fear second and your courage first. Actually, you just put your fear down, right? Put it on the floor and say, stay, in a commanding voice. And leave it there. Because eventually, it's going to just walk away. Because you left it there. You left it alone. It's going to go to somebody else. Try it. What's the best that could happen? You don't have any fear anymore? Done. So work. Keep trying. And on those quote-unquote bad days, don't think of as bad days. Think of them as character-building days. They're character-building days. Because you got through it, right? You got through it, and you survived, and you did great. And you just built more character. You have more awareness and ability on those character building days than on the good days. There you go. So, Cobra Nation, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Like, comment, and share. Let me know what is up. What are you doing today that will build your character? As always, if you're willing to change from the neck up, you will change from the neck down. I believe in you. Now it's your turn to start believing in yourself. Stay safe out there. Be blessed. Bye for now.